English Easy Podcast.
Hello, learners. Welcome back to English Sleep Podcast, your partner to learning English while you sleep.
And tonight we are keeping things very, very slow.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I want you to just lie back. Imagine, it's about maybe 11:30 at night.
Mm-hmm.
The house is completely quiet. Your head is finally on the pillow. And, you open your phone for what you tell yourself is just 1 minute of scrolling.
Just 1 minute, right? We all do that.
Right. But in those 60 seconds, you see an old friend's post about buying this beautiful new house, or you see a former colleague announcing a big promotion.
Oh, yeah. That hits hard.
It does. And suddenly your relaxing evening turns into this quiet, heavy panic, this feeling that it is just simply too late for you to achieve your own goals.
Yeah, that midnight panic is so real. And since we are adopting a uniquely calm, relaxing tempo tonight, specifically for you, our intermediate English learners, I want to say right up front, you do not need to capture every single word we say tonight.
No, absolutely not. Just let it wash over you.
Exactly. Don't worry about analyzing the grammar. Our mission for this deep dive is to gently explore that midnight feeling of being left behind. We want to look at how to start again, exactly where you are, with whatever, small amount of time and courage you possess right now.
Which means no loud, exhausting motivational speeches tonight, right?
Right. None of that. No yelling at you to change your life overnight.
Oh, that is such a relief. Because honestly, loud motivation often just feels like a demand we can't meet, especially when we're tired.
For sure.
So I want to look closely at the mechanics of that late night panic. It feels so intense and sudden, and I suspect this isn't just a casual emotional reaction, right? It feels like it's deeply wired into how our brains process things.
You're actually looking right at the evolutionary root of the problem there.
Oh, really? So it is biological?
It is, yeah. Our brains are heavily wired for tribal survival. For thousands of years, our physical safety depended entirely on our status within a group.
Wow. Okay, so if you fell behind...
You literally might not survive. Exactly. So we constantly run this subconscious, background algorithm to track our position relative to others.
That makes so much sense.
Yeah, and when you scroll through social media and see those highlights, your brain's ancient threat detection system, it actually misfires.
Huh. Because it's a screen, not a real tribe.
Right. It interprets someone else's social success as your own social failure, and that triggers a very real cortical response in your body.
Wow, that entirely explains the physical weight in the chest. It's not just, simple jealousy over a perfectly clean kitchen or a new car.
No, it's deeper.
Yeah, we're looking for evidence that our own lives are secure and moving forward. And when we don't see it, that ancient part of our brain just sounds a massive alarm.
Precisely. And this leads to a very specific cognitive trap regarding how we process time, because the brain loves patterns and rules.
Right. It wants things to make sense.
Exactly. So when we observe someone else's milestone, maybe they moved abroad or, they achieved fluency in a language by a certain age, we subconsciously convert their milestone into a hard deadline for our own lives.
Oh, that is so true. We treat their specific life event like it's a universal ticking clock.
Yes. We conclude that we've failed a test we never even actually registered to take.
That is, wow. And when you explain that fear to a friend, the most common response is always that gentle smile and the phrase, don't worry, everyone has their own timeline.
A classic response.
Right. And I understand the intention is kind, I really do. But I actually have to push back a little against that advice.
Oh, tell me why.
Well, giving someone that phrase, it's like putting a soft, warm blanket over a deep wound. It hides the injury from view, sure, but it does absolutely nothing to heal the tissue underneath.
It sounds like you find the phrase a bit dismissive of the actual lived experience.
Yeah, it is dismissive. True comfort has to include the honest possibility that we did, in fact, waste time.
That's a tough thing to admit to yourself.
It is. But maybe we stayed in a stagnant job for 5 years because we were just too afraid to leave. Or maybe we let life interrupt our English studies for a decade, and we genuinely regret it.
Right.
Brushing that reality away with a cliche, it just skipped over the uncomfortable truth. I think we have to acknowledge the time that passed without pretending it doesn't sting,
I see your point. But acknowledging that wasted time creates a pretty dangerous psychological trap, especially right before sleep.
How so?
Well, if we aren't incredibly careful, looking honestly at our past easily morphs into, like, punishing ourselves for it.
Oh, yeah. I do that all the time.
Right, which brings us to a really delicate crossroads in this deep dive. The difference between an honest assessment and self-punishment.
Okay, let me test a hypothesis on that. If I look at my progress and say to myself, my English is terrible and I will never improve because I am lazy,
Yeah.
I might actually believe I am simply stating the facts of the situation.
You might believe that, sure, but you would be confusing a judgment with a fact. Learners constantly disguise self-punishment as honesty. That sentence you just said, that's a verdict passed down by a really cruel internal judge.
It does sound like a verdict, yeah.
And the mechanism here is important. When you use punishing language, your brain releases stress hormones that literally shut down the learning and memory centers.
Wait, really? It shuts them down.
Literally, you are neurologically blocking your own ability to improve when you speak to yourself that way.
Wow. Okay, then what does actual honesty sound like if it isn't that harshness?
Finding a kinder place to stand means shifting to neutral facts. So an honest statement would be, my English is rusty.
Just rusty.
Exactly. The word rusty is an objective observation. It implies you just haven't used the skill in a while.
Like a bicycle left out in the rain.
Yes. The gears are stiff, they lack lubrication, but rust implies a mechanism for repair, right? It can be cleaned.
Oh, I love that.
Terrible and unable to improve is a life sentence. Rusty is just a temporary state of friction.
That word completely changes the weight of the observation. And, I see this exact dynamic when I attempt to rest.
How do you mean?
Well, I'll sit on the couch on a Sunday, trying to unwind, and my internal monologue becomes relentless. It tells me I'm wasting the day, that I should be studying, that I should be productive.
Yes.
We often call this our productive voice, but it's really just being cruel with a calendar.
Cruelty disguised as productivity is a very, very common modern affliction. So, how do you attempt to rewrite that monologue when you're on the couch?
I try to replace it with a gentler truth. I tell myself, you are allowed to move slowly today.
That's a beautiful sentence.
It is, but I will admit, the cognitive friction of trying to believe it is immense. When I say the words, a large part of my brain rejects them as a lie. I feel this lingering guilt.
That guilt is just the residual programming of your old internal judge. You don't have to believe the gentler truth perfectly on the very first day.
Really? Just saying it's enough.
Speaking, it is simply the first physical step to giving yourself a kinder place to stand. And that foundation is absolutely essential when you decide to finally restart an abandoned goal.
Okay, that makes sense.
But to actually do that, to restart, we must shatter a deeply held illusion. The myth of the clean slate.
Oh, the clean slate. That's the fantasy that starting over means opening a crisp, brand new notebook with a perfectly sharp pencil.
Exactly.
We believe all our previous mistakes are somehow just erased.
We expect a pristine beginning. But starting over in reality is like writing on a page that is already covered in old scribbled notes and faded coffee stains.
You don't arrive empty-handed.
You don't. You bring your past frustrations, your memories of quitting, and all your accumulated doubts right to the desk with you. It is a heavy cognitive load.
This perfectly explains a story from our source material about returning to the gym after a long absence. The setup is incredibly relatable.
Oh, the gym story. Yes, go ahead.
So you buy new running shoes. You curate this high-energy music playlist. You walk through the doors of the gym expecting, a cinematic transformation montage.
With dramatic lighting.
Exactly. And you step onto the treadmill and set it to a gentle, polite walking speed, just assuming your body will remember its old strength.
The expectation is seamless continuity.
Right. But the physical reality hits the psychological expectation like a brick wall. After merely 4 minutes of this polite, whispering stroll, the person in the story is gasping for air, as if they had just summited a mountain.
Which is so demoralizing.
It really is. The contrast between who they thought they were and who they currently are is entirely exposed under those harsh fluorescent lights.
And this is the precise moment we have to analyze carefully. Because shame is an incredibly opportunistic emotion.
Meaning it looks for a weak spot.
Yes. It waits for moments of physiological vulnerability. When you are physically out of breath and uncomfortable, shame steps in to mimic that physical distress emotionally.
Ugh, that's awful.
It whispers, "Look how far you have fallen. It is too late for you to ever get back to where you were."
If the biological response is that overwhelming, how does someone survive that moment without just hitting the stop button and walking out the door forever?
By redefining what victory looks like. The inspiring takeaway from this scenario isn't some sudden burst of superhuman energy. The music doesn't swell in the background.
No movie magic.
Exactly. The profound victory is simply surviving the embarrassment of the coffee-stained page. It is deciding to stay on that machine for 5 more sweaty, deeply uncomfortable minutes.
Wow.
Translated to learning English, the victory is just opening the lesson file when you feel 6 months behind. It is speaking one slightly awkward sentence out loud, feeling the rust, and letting that small, imperfect action be entirely enough for today.
The triumph is simply refusing to leave the room.
Exactly.
But sometimes the resistance we feel isn't just rust. Sometimes the extreme difficulty of starting over comes from trying to force ourselves back into a dream that no longer fits the reality of our current lives.
This is a really complex psychological transition. We often talk about outgrowing old clothes, but we rarely discuss the process of outgrowing our own dreams.
That's a profound thought.
Yeah.
Outgrowing a dream.
Yeah, think about it. In your 20s, you might have deeply desired the full calendar lifestyle. You believed that being perpetually exhausted, rushing from meeting to meeting, was the ultimate badge of honor.
But for sure, it signaled importance.
Right. But I know you have some thoughts on this word, outgrow.
I do, actually. I want to challenge the word outgrow in this context.
Yeah.
Because comparing a decade-long dream to an old shirt feels, far too passive to me.
How does it feel to you then?
It paints a picture of calmly folding up a goal, placing it on a wooden shelf, and just walking away peacefully. And letting go of a core ambition does not feel peaceful.
No, it usually doesn't.
It feels like a system failure. It's more like trying to run modern software on a computer built 10 years ago. The hardware of who you are now, with all your new responsibilities and perspectives, it's just too advanced for the limited programming of your past goals. It causes the whole system to crash.
That is a brilliant mechanical distinction. The friction and exhaustion you feel is the incompatibility between your current hardware and your past software.
Yes, exactly.
It feels like a loss because it genuinely is one. But we can salvage the underlying data without running the outdated program. Dreams change shape. Consider the individual who, at age 50, suddenly wishes to be an Olympic gymnast.
Okay, well, if we are dealing in neutral facts, that specific door is permanently closed. The biological reality of elite gymnastics does not allow for a 50-year-old beginner.
Correct. And toxic positivity would tell them they can achieve anything at any age, which only leads to deeper despair when reality sets in.
Right, it's just a lie.
But if we look closely at the architecture of that closed dream, we find the deeper, evergreen desires inside it. Why did they want the Olympic medal?
I guess, maybe the discipline.
That's one part. They craved the sensation of fluid movement. They wanted the daily pursuit of physical strength. They desired the quiet confidence of knowing their body is capable of difficult things.
Ah, I see. So the specific outcome is closed, but those core desires remain entirely accessible.
Exactly. The medal is the outdated software. The desire for strength and movement is the valuable data you extract and install into your current life.
That's a really comforting way to look at it.
Reinventing yourself requires the quiet bravery to mourn the loss of a very specific past vision while keeping the deeper meaning that always fueled it.
To process this kind of system upgrade, we need the proper vocabulary. We need language that gives our complex internal feelings a softer, more accurate shape.
And that is exactly what we're going to do next.
Yeah. We're going to create a dedicated, slow-paced space for you to practice your English right now, right from where you are resting.
We will explore 6 key words tonight. I will pronounce them slowly. I want you to focus on the physical shape of the word as much as the meaning.
Nice and slow.
Our first word is timeline. Timeline.
A timeline is the sequence of events in a person's life. It is the track upon which your unique experiences unfold.
When you feel the ancient part of your brain panicking over someone else's success, remember this word. You are not late. You are simply operating on your own timeline.
Our second word is milestone. Milestone.
A milestone is a significant marker of progress. Speaking your first full paragraph in English or finally forgiving yourself for taking a day off are profound milestones. They are markers, not deadlines.
The third word is detour.
Detour.
The detour is an unexpected alternate route. When the main road is blocked by illness, job loss, or burnout, you must take a detour. It is often a slower, more difficult path, but it forces you to navigate new terrain and builds profound resilience.
Our fourth word is reinvent. Reinvent.
To reinvent is to change your direction by incorporating the wisdom of your past. It is not deleting your history. It is writing new, better software using the data of your previous experiences.
The fifth word is outgrow. Outgrow. This is the realization that a habit, a relationship, or a goal that once served you perfectly is now causing friction. You have expanded, and the old container can no longer hold the person you have become.
And our final word tonight is fulfilling. Fulfilling.
An action is fulfilling when it provides deep internal satisfaction, regardless of external validation. It is the quiet hum of contentment, entirely separate from the noise of social comparison.
Timeline, milestone, detour, reinvent, outgrow, fulfilling. Just
Right.
allow the rhythm of those words to settle your mind.
Let's use these new tools to update our internal programming. When the brain is tired, our self-talk becomes incredibly heavy.
Oh, absolutely.
So we are going to take 3 punishing thoughts and reframe them into statements that are both honest and kind.
The first heavy thought often arrives right as you close your eyes. The internal judge says, I am late in life. It feels absolute and final.
We remove the judgment by decoupling your identity from the concept of universal time.
How do we do that?
Instead of, I am late in life, try whispering this. I feel behind, but I am learning to accept my own timeline.
Oh, that's much better.
You honor the emotional reality of feeling behind, which validates your experience, but you follow it with a gentle acceptance of your personal path.
The second heavy thought is even more sweeping. The mind whispers, my life went the wrong way. It frames every past decision as a catastrophic error.
That thought assumes there was only one correct road. We can reframe that by integrating our new vocabulary. Tell yourself, my life took a painful detour, but I'm finding my way again.
Took a painful detour.
The word detour respects the difficulty of the alternate route, but it firmly reclaims your agency. It reminds your brain that you are still actively navigating.
I love that. The final heavy thought deals with the guilt of leaving things behind. We look at a past version of ourselves and think, I do not want my old dream anymore. It can feel like a deep betrayal of our younger selves.
We soften that betrayal by acknowledging the evolution of our hardware. Try saying, I think I have outgrown that dream, but it mattered to me once. You are respectfully archiving the old goal. You validate the younger version of yourself who held that dream while giving your current self permission to move forward unburdened.
I think I have outgrown that dream, but it mattered to me once. That is a remarkably peaceful way to close a long chapter.
It really is. And as we transition towards sleep, we want to ensure you have a practical, stress-free way to apply this gentle approach to your daily language routine tomorrow.
Yes, the goal is to build a habit that does not resemble the cruel calendar we discussed earlier. How do we engage with the language without triggering that ancient stress response?
You do this by radically lowering the stakes of participation. Do not wake up tomorrow planning a rigorous 2-hour grammar intensive.
Yeah, please don't do that.
That approach only sets the trap for future shame when you inevitably lack the energy to complete it. Instead, focus on mastering just one useful sentence a day. Or commit to listening to one short, relaxed conversation while you make your morning tea. Set your internal treadmill to a polite walking pace. Consistency, wrapped in self-compassion, creates deep neural pathways. Sporadic, frantic bursts of stressful studying only create resistance.
It's about inviting the language into your life as a quiet companion rather than hiring it as a demanding manager.
Exactly.
Before you drift off, I have a question for you, listening right now in the stillness of your room. Have you ever felt the weight of thinking it was too late to start over? Is there a language, a forgotten hobby, or a quiet hope that you wish to pick up again, even in the smallest possible way?
We invite you to claim a new beginning tonight without any pressure or heavy expectations.
Tomorrow, or whenever you feel ready, scroll down and leave a comment on this deep dive. Use one of our new vocabulary words to anchor your thought, and simply write, "It is not too late for me." Put that honest declaration out into the world.
As your breathing slows and the tension leaves your shoulders, I want you to discard the mental image of your life as a high-speed train. You didn't miss the final departure while standing frozen on a cold platform.
That's a nice thought.
Instead, visualize your life as a long, beautifully winding road. It is a road that wanders patiently through dense forests, climbs over challenging mountains, and occasionally takes long, unexpected detours. The most comforting truth is that this road does not vanish when you sit down. You can always return to it. Even if you walk at a slow, gentle pace for the rest of your journey, even if you stop to rest for a very long time.
The road remains, waiting quietly for your next step whenever you're ready to take it.
And this leaves you with a final thought to ponder in the quiet darkness. If you truly believe that the road will wait for you, what surprising, beautiful new scenery might you finally notice now that you have stopped running so hard to catch up?
Sleep well, learners. You are right where you need to be.